morning, everyone, and welcome. It's Michelle, and I'm going to be doing some lemons today. So, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as they say. I mean, really, lemons are just a kind of an oval with a couple of notches, top and bottom, and then we've got branch and leaves. So, hopefully, nothing too complicated here. So, this is my one that I've done before. So I'm going to be using that as my reference. I did this at the weekend. And so this is the one that I'm actually going to be doing today. So this was done in my Lightwish sketchbook. So I've been using this one for a while now. I started it in October 2024. So there's not much left on this one, but that's going to be my reference picture. And for ease, I'm going to pop that in the top left-hand corner there. I've redrawn some branches and lemons in my Moleskine, or however you pronounce it. Moleskine. Yeah, people pronounce it in various different ways. So let's just get another clip. Keep this side in place. Right. So I think I'm going to do these in, I'll do this one the same as the one up in the top left hand corner. And then this one I think I'm going to do slightly differently. The paints that I'm going to use are the Van Gogh Nature set of 12 paints, and in here we have got, let's bring it up, we've got Buff Titanium, Azo Yellow Medium, Yellow Ochre, Azo Green Yellow, Olive Green, Burnt Sienna, Raw Umber, Permanent Orange, Raw Sienna, Burnt Umber, Sap Green, and Van Dyke Brown. So you can see these are all browns, greens, yellows, bit of Buff Titanium there. So this is a really good one if you really are just doing a lot of landscapes. My only quibble with this particular set is that there's no blue in it. So on occasions what I've done is use this cobalt blue, and I really can't remember what make this is that come in these porcelain tubs, but yeah, it's not too much of a problem just adding a blue, but today we don't really need the blue anyway. So let's move this in position, like maybe down a bit more. Or shall we have that to the side? Let me just see how we can do this. Let's put that at the bottom there. There we go. And then that can sit side by side, can't it? So I've got my water here just out of shot. And I've got a cloth ready. And I've got a couple of brushes. I've got a size 6 round. I happen to be using the Princeton Snap. It's a synthetic brush. And then I've got what's, it's kind of like a little rigger. Probably more like a size 2 or 3 rigger. This is Fibonacci. Yeah, I can't read the rest. It says it's a 0.1 Fibonacci. I can't even remember where I got this from, to be honest, but a little rigger of some sorts will do just to get some of the smaller details in. Or I suppose you could just use maybe like a little size 2 round. That would do a similar thing. Okay, let us get going. So I'm going to start with this one on this side, and I'm going to tilt it slightly to make it easier for me to do. I'm going to start by doing my do I want to start with it? Yeah, I'm going to start by doing the lemons. So I'm going to be using this Azo Yellow Medium as my starting point. So this is my first lemon on this side. I'll get that in. And while we're at it, we'll do the one next to it because it's right next to it, which kind of makes sense. And our third one at the bottom here. But obviously, we don't want these to just be one colour. So, while they're still wet, I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow ochre, especially up near the top here. And just allow that. That's where I'm going to get a bit of shadow. Because we're going to need some variation in there basically, and maybe even this little bit at the bottom will give that a little bit of a darker shade. Okay, what are we going to do next? Now that's all wet really, and I might want to add to that. And in fact, on this one maybe we'll take a little bit of the paint out, and maybe even on this one, just to give them a bit more of a 3D effect. So there we go. We've just with a damp clean brush just taken out a little bit of the paint there. Now it's not too bad, to be honest. I think we'll do these couple of leaves that are not touching anything else. So I'm going to start off with the Azo Green Yellow. It's a little bit like green gold, to be honest, this colour. And we'll get some of that in. And we can do the same down here. This one's not touching any wet bits. And this one here. I'm going to leave the others because they're touching the lemon. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the olive green, because we don't want these to be flat. So we can add some of that olive green in. So that we're starting to get some nice, I'll bring this up. You can see already we're getting some nice effects going on. I think that'll probably be dry enough now. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Let's go back to our Azo Green. And I'll just be really careful around my lemon. You could dry yours. I could have dried mine, but I'm just going to hope for the best today. If you wanted to, you could go down a size brush to do some of these details. Now we need the, what do we use? Olive green. So let's get some of this olive green in here as well to add some more dimension. Yeah, it's just those three that I did, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. So that's looking really nice. I'm quite pleased with that so far. We may need to do some tidying up, but right, while that is drying and before I do the branches and tidy the rest of that, let's make a start on this one. It's always good sometimes to have two on the go because you know, while one bit's drying we can get on with another bit. So I'm going to get my lemons done first again, and I'm using the Azo Yellow Medium again. You'll notice that in each of my pictures I've, oh no, is my head in the way again? You'll notice that I've done three of, let me move, three of the lemons on each of the pictures, odd numbers being very much favoured by the human eye. Right, let's get some of that yellow ochre in now. And our bottom one. So, you know, what's nice is you can take one of your paintings and decide to do it again. And do it again in a slightly different way, maybe even. So I think for this one, let's have the light bit across there. And again across there. Okay, let's go with our greens, our Azo Green Yellow. Start popping that in up here. And I'm going to do something slightly different on this one than this one. So I know it looks the same at the moment, but in the end it won't. So there's our Azo Yellow, and then we need variation in there. So we'll pop that in there. Back to our Azo Yellow. Carefully going around my lemon. And then adding some of that other colour in. And I've gone over a bit. So with a clean damp brush, I'm just going to clean that up. I have a feeling I've been getting my head in the way all along. Let's hope not. There, so we've got them both to the same stage now. While that one's drying, I'm going to go back to this one, and with my smaller brush, I'm going to get the branches in. So what shall we use? Should we use... Let's try raw umber. And I don't know what this was on my palette, but we're going to put it there. Doesn't really matter. Right, so let's now get our branches or stems or... Huh? This is the bit where it's good if you've got a steady hand, which I don't always seem to have. Okay, so now we have got our stems in there. Let's see if we can get our stems in this one as well. Okay, so I'll just bring up what we've done so far. I am going to dry this now, because then I'm going to look at what else I need to do on this one and this one. So I will be back in 2 ticks as soon as I get my mouse to work to pause the video. Okay, here we go. Yes. Okay, and we're back. So let's finish this side off first. And I think for this side, first of all, I want to tidy up my lemons where you can still see the pencil marks. And I've pulled out, what is this? This is Dark Honey, Derwent Lightfast. This is Yellow Ochre, Derwent Lightfast. And Luminance Olive Brown. So I've pulled up those 3 colours because I think that they kind of match what I've been doing. And I'm just going to tidy up some of my edges. You know, sometimes it's just not easy to get that close with our paintbrush. Some of you might be really good at that. Unfortunately, that's not me. So I'm just very lightly going round the edges of my lemons with the, what am I using at the moment? The dark honey. Yeah, dark honey. And then I might take a little bit of this yellow ochre as well, just to blend it out a bit more. Okay, I think that kind of helps define my lemons. And then I'm going to do the same with my leaves with this, what was this? Olive brown in actual fact. But it kind of goes really nicely with the colours that I was using. And I'm just going to very lightly get some veins in. So tidying around my edge where I need to. And just getting a vein in if I want to, but not on all of them. I'm not going to put veins on all of them. And I quite often use pencils to just finish things off, really. So there is our one on the left, which is very similar to the one I did on the weekend, although I think I'm going to darken my branch up. Let's do that. So let's get I've got a nice dark brown out. Let's have a look. I know you're blue, you're grey. Oh, what are you? No, okay, maybe. Oh, there we are. There we go. What colour are you? Castle Air. You'll do nicely. And I'm just going to darken this up a bit by adding this pencil in. And I think that will help give a contrast with those lemons. There, that's better. So there we go. There is our one on the left, which is watercolour and four coloured pencils that I've used. Now let's go over to this one, and I'm going to do the same with my lemons. I'm going to tidy those up with this, with the same pencils. And just define the edge of them. Maybe even a little bit of the yellow ochre, just to blend it in a bit more. There we go. And then down here. Okay, so let's take our Castle Earth and just darken these up again. But on this one, I'm going to grab my gold gel pen, and that's how I'm going to add the veins on the leaves for this one. And just add a little bit of sparkle in there. And I might even just emphasize like the bottom of those lemons with just a little bit of the gold. So just you know, showing you can do something else. You could even, you know, highlight the highlights with a bit more of a white gel pen. Maybe just get a little highlight in there. So yeah, I've used gel pens there, I've used pencils there. It just depends on how you want it to look, really. But I think, you know, it just goes to show you can play around with the same idea in, you know, various different ways. So let's just lose the reference picture. And where did this all spring from? Well, it's got black coffee in, but hopefully you can see I've got little lemons on my mug. So yeah, happy painting, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll get back to my coffee now, but I've enjoyed doing those lemons. Made me feel very summery. So hope to see you again next time. If any of you are not subscribed, it would be really helpful if you could. 70% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, and it really does make a difference, you know, for the effort that we all put in on YouTube to provide these. So yeah, if you can do that, it would be wonderful. Thank you so much. See you next time.